Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Immunity from an obligation or duty. The condition of being free, the power to act or speak or think without externally imposed restraints. Immunity from an obligation or duty. An act exempting someone. A deduction allowed to a taxpayer because of his status, having certain dependents or being blind or being over 65, etc. Additional exemptions are allowed for each dependent. The state of not being susceptible. Unsusceptibility to rust. An act exempting someone. He was granted immunity from prosecution. Medicine, the condition in which an organism can resist disease. The state of not being susceptible. The quality of being unaffected by something. Immunity to criticism. Indicate through a symbol, formula, etc. The territory occupied by a nation. A politically organized body of people under a single government. The state has elected a new president. Chemistry. The three traditional states of matter are solids, fixed shape and volume, and liquids, fixed volume and shaped by the container, and gases, filling the container. The solid state of water is called ice. The territory occupied by one of the constituent administrative districts of a nation. His state is in the Deep South. Put before. The federal department in the United States that sets and maintains foreign policies. Express in words. State your opinion. A state of depression or agitation. He was in such a state you just couldn't reason with him. The group of people comprising the government of a sovereign state. The state has lowered its income tax. The way something is with respect to its main attributes. The current state of knowledge. An exemption based on circumstances existing prior to the adoption of some policy. Used to enfranchise illiterate whites in South after the American Civil War. Exemption from taxation or normal processes of law that is offered to diplomatic personnel in a foreign country. Exemption from punishment or loss. A sum of money paid in compensation for loss or injury. Protection against future loss. Legal exemption from liability for damages. A warrant granting release from punishment for an offense. The formal act of liberating someone. A period during which offenders are exempt from punishment. Grant a pardon to a group of people. Freedom to do as you see fit. Many have doubts about giving him a free hand to attack. A statutory right or privilege granted to a person or group by a government, especially the rights of citizenship and the right to vote. The act of certifying or bestowing a franchise on. Freedom from political subjugation or servitude. One's freedom to exercise one's rights is guaranteed under the laws of the country. Fundamental individual right protected by law and expressed as immunity from unwarranted governmental interference. Freedom from control or influence of another or others. A city in western Missouri, the beginning of the Santa Fe Trail. The successful ending of the American Revolution. They maintained close relations with England even after independence. Freedom from control or influence of another or others. immunity from arbitrary exercise of authority, political independence. Leave granted to a sailor or naval officer. An act of undue intimacy. Freedom of choice. Liberty of opinion. Personal freedom from servitude or confinement or oppression. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Princeton plays Yale this weekend. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. She plays deaf when the news are bad. Manipulate manually or in one's mind or imagination. She played nervously with her wedding ring. A dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. He wrote several plays but only one was produced on Broadway. The act using a sword, or other weapon, vigorously and skillfully. A weak and tremulous light. The play of light on the water. Gay or light-hearted recreational activity for diversion or amusement. It was all done in play. Activity by children that is guided more by imagination than by fixed rules. Freud believed in the utility of play to a small child. Consider not very seriously. She plays with the thought of moving to Tasmania. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. Play a joke. Replay, as a melody. She played the third movement very beautifully. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is still my play. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Stake on the outcome of an issue. She played all her money on the dark horse. An attempt to get something. They made a futile play for power. A deliberate coordinated movement requiring dexterity and skill. The runner was out on a play by the shortstop. Engage in recreational activities rather than work. Occupy oneself in a diversion. On weekends I play. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. I'll play you my favorite record. Movement or space for movement. There was too much play in the steering wheel. Behave carelessly or indifferently. The removal of constraints. They gave full play to the artist's talent. Engage in an activity as if it were a game rather than take it seriously. They played games on their opponents. The act of playing for stakes in the hope of winning, including the payment of a price for a chance to win a prize. There was heavy play at the blackjack table. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Rein stopped play in the fourth inning. Play a role or part. Gielgud played Hamlet. Act or have an effect in a specified way or with a specific effect or outcome. This factor played only a minor part in his decision. A preset plan of action in team sports. The coach drew up the plays for her team. A state in which action is feasible. The ball was still in play. A theatrical performance of a drama. The play lasted 2 hours. Be at play. Be engaged in playful activity. Amuse oneself in a way characteristic of children. The kids were playing outside all day. Behave in a certain way. Play safe. Be performed or presented for public viewing. What's playing in the local movie theater? Bet or wager, money. He played $20 on the new horse. Cause to move or operate freely within a bounded space. The engine has a wheel that is playing in a rack. Discharge or direct or be discharged or directed as if in a continuous stream. Play water from a hose. Emit recorded sound. The tape was playing for hours. Employ in a game or in a specific position. They played him on first base. Exhaust by allowing to pull on the line. Play a hooked fish. Make bets. Play the casinos in Trouville. Move or seem to move quickly, lightly, or irregularly. The spotlights played on the politicians. Participate in games or sport. We played hockey all afternoon. Perform music on a musical instrument. He plays the flute. Perform on a certain location. The prodigy played Carnegie Hall at the age of 16. Play on an instrument. The band played all night long. Pretend to be somebody in the framework of a game or playful activity. Let's play like I am mommy. Put a card or piece into play during a game, or act strategically as if in a card game. He is playing his cards close to his chest. Shoot or hit in a particular manner. She played a good backhand last night. Use or move. I had to play my queen. Use to one's advantage. She plays on her client's emotions. Utilization or exercise. The play of the imagination. One's freedom to exercise one's rights is guaranteed under the laws of the country. Russia, freedom. Freedom to do as you see fit. A check that has been signed but with the amount payable left blank. The freedom of teachers and students to express their ideas in school without religious or political or institutional restrictions. The removal of constraints. He gave free rein to his impulses. The right of merchant ships to travel freely in international waters.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.